don't like it because I can't put my cup down.
Okay, shut up. You're on.
Oh, I can't believe my wife talks to me like that. That's oppression. She's lucky she's not a law enforcement officer. Be oppression under the color of law. Good morning. Vantac with coffee today. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about something. First, I want to talk a little bit about this really cool pistol. Yeah, this is a pistol. This is a Springfield Armory, which I'm a big proponent of Springfield Armory. This is their Saint pistol in 5.56. You can switch out the top and make it a 300 blackout, suppress it, and you got really a groovy suppressed weapon. I don't do that though because I don't do NFA stuff. I've got one NFA shotgun and it's such a hassle. I don't do NFA anymore. But anyway, EOTech sight. There's a Streamlight TLR1 HL light on there. I like those for handguns. Not so much if you're going to be sneaking around enemy territory, that thing turns on too quickly. But you put it on a handgun, it's perfect. On this, we're just throwing it on there because we're kind of testing for what lights we like best. I just got one of those Enforce lights, and it's pretty groovy. I put it on one of my rifles. But anyway, you know what? I started out carrying this because I want to talk about something today that we kind of touched on in the last day or two about censorship. Hold on a second. Let me put this down. You know, there's been a lot of talk on people. I love it. Our page is really coming back to life, and that's because of the people on it. We call it the Vantac family. You know, we have about 127,000 people from around the world, and things are really changing. But anyway, we want to thank you, because without you, you know, we're nobody. I'm just some broken down old man with a wife that pushes him around that has something to say that nobody wants to hear. But let's talk about censorship. You know, we were talking about censorship on Facebook. It's what my family has experienced, right? Facebook touts itself as a freely expressed ideas and opinions and the place where people can learn and talk and blah, 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 but they're censoring guns. We all know it. I mean, you saw what I posted. Anything that talks about the sale of guns or knives and all that nonsense, I posted that post. But what's interesting is so many people are saying, well, it's a private company, so your First Amendment rights, they can't violate them because it's a private company and you agree to something when you get on there. I want us all to think about that for a minute. Aren't news stations privately owned? Do you know, I spoke with Google about a week ago about the problems we were having with Facebook and how I really want to start trying to get our supporters to go to our website, but we need to really expand it so that we can put our videos and everything on there. And you know what Google told me? They looked at the page and they said, do you know, of all the people that we've helped, you're in the top 1% bracket of what your page is about. And they said they would love to help me and they could do great things. They have a social media team. And all I needed to do was to stop exposing and talking about guns. That's it. That's all I had to do. If I stop talking about guns, if I talk about self-defense or safety or protection, but stop talking about guns and stop showing guns. And I don't want to stop doing that. You see, because people who own guns, the smart ones, not everybody that's smart owns a gun. I should say everybody that owns a gun is not smart. But that's okay, you don't got to be smart to own a gun. But anybody that's smart that owns a gun knows what it's really mostly about. Whether you're a hunter or just a target shooter, guns are about being in your house and affording you safety. But it's bigger than that. Guns ensure a free state. That's a fact. Talked about that yesterday. Have you noticed on our page, you know, I've had people from around the world talk to me, and never until the last couple days did I start realizing, you know, I need to share that with everybody. And I made a mistake when I was talking about our page is about Americans. It's not just about Americans. It's about good people around the world, gun owners around the world, people that believe in freedom. I'm a Christian, and I want everybody to be a Christian. But not everybody will be. And I don't hate you, but I'll pray for you. I'm a Christian because God has done great things in my life, and this country was founded on Christianity. Look at the documents from the founding, and look at the buildings in Washington, D.C. God is all over them, but let's pretend like he's not there. As the country falls apart, we now go by the rules of whoever, because the Bible, which is I see as the rule book of life, we're going to just kind of throw that over here, and now who's making the rules? And now everything's in upheaval. But let's get back to censorship. So when you say, if you're somebody who believes that because Facebook is a private company, they have the right to, I don't have a right, you don't have a right to free speech because it's a private company. That's nonsense. Let's stop it. Let's talk about reality. That's nonsense. You can't be a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that says we like free ideas except for these things. Because then that's not right. You can talk about everything you want but that. Yeah, that's not right. Let's face it, the news does stupid things. I believe the president's talking the right thing. Media is controlled. Why is media controlled? Listen, everybody that's out there that's reporting the news isn't a bad person, but they work for somebody and they want to keep their job. So who really controls the media? Whoever owns it. Is there anybody out there anymore that just says, hey, listen, this happened. Look at what happened. No, it's always like, this happened because, he don't know what because. We have people talking about things that they don't even know what they're talking about. Guns and politics, and they throw their conjecture in there. That's not the news. The news is, look, this is what's happened. It's terrible. And then instead of waiting a few days to make a decision, they just start jumping to conclusions because they want to be the number one leading news team on the story. And then they mislead people. They say things wrong. Listen, I was a policeman for 20 years in Las Vegas. I've been to things where people in the news said somebody was killed when they weren't, or somebody survived when they didn't. That's a problem. I believe in free speech, absolutely. And the press is the great thing about it, but they have to be held accountable. You have to have some facts. Suddenly there's all these anonymous tips, and we can destroy other people. We can destroy their reputation because we got an anonymous tip, because we can't ever prove it, and they'll never give it up. And now you don't know if they're not giving up the anonymous tip because they're protecting them, or if there never was one. Listen, you've got to have facts. Because you see, if I was talking about you, and I said, hey, so-and-so is a pedophile, and I'm on the press, and people all around the world see that, and I have no fact, and then, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, say, well, I believed it to be true, and so, we haven't found the facts, but you really think that people aren't going to look at you as the pedophile, especially if it's in the news all over the place? There's no accountability in that. Censorship is not right anywhere. Where does it stop? If Facebook's allowed to do it, and Google's allowed to do it, right? Google's like, yeah, well, we'd love to help you get even bigger and stronger. You just got to stop talking about guns, even though you think that guns are related to freedom. That's censorship. So Google's willing to help me. So I said, well, I don't know that I'm going to do that, but I really like the way you talk. Do me a favor and let me know what your supervisor says. He says, okay, I'll call you back. I'm still waiting for the call. That was a week ago. I have a feeling Google's not going to help. That's a big deal. I'm not even talking about me. I'm talking about for us. Censorship's real. And why is the government not coming down on them? Now, there's going to be all these trials. PragerU, I talked about them. It's a conservative page. They keep hitting me up for money. If they really want my money, I'll send them some money. But put me on a list so when you win the case, because they will, that my page gets released from Facebook and my 127,000 people see everything I do every day. Me and the other thousands of people that will send you probably $100 or hundreds of dollars, which can result in PragerU getting $1 million. All we want is we want to get something out of it as well, not just you. I'm tired of these huge conglomerates that ask you to give them money, then they win something and they don't do anything for you. They just do something for them. Come on, PragerU. I'm a conservative. I like your page. Support my page. Support the thousands of people who just like to talk about truth and freedom and the right thing. Let's really get together for everybody, not just ourselves. So censorship ain't right. It ain't right on Facebook or Google or the internet. The First Amendment doesn't stop in a private business. It doesn't. That's like saying discrimination stops at the door of your business. We all know that ain't true. It's not true. Censorship is wrong. Censorship is evil. Especially when it's stopping the truth. Because truth, God is truth. And if you stop the truth and you stop God at the door, we all know that's wrong. Enjoy your coffee this morning. Keep safe.